DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Wanted to come to y'all with the diet and nutrition. I know when I put out those videos, I get a lot of questions, a lot of people asking me stuff. And as I've told y'all, I got a complete resources page, diet and nutrition, both the videos that I made talking about it myself and also a bunch of links, a ton of links to resources, things written by people who are experts, who know 100 times more than me about all this stuff. On my website is DreAllDay.com/diet nutrition. I think that's the link, but I got it right down there in the description. So just look at the description right under me. There's a link to that page with all the links, all the videos I made. I did a post a couple weeks ago, a blog post on my website about the meals that I eat. Because people ask me about the actual meals, the lunch, dinner, breakfast that I eat. So the lunch and dinner, I actually get my meals delivered by a company in Miami. And you can read the blog post. I put all the details on there, links to the website, how much it costs, the type of foods I eat. All that stuff is down there in that link down there. Here I'm going to talk about snacks, types of foods I eat, and also breakfast. Now the thing with the foods I get delivered, I get 3 meals, but I don't usually eat one for breakfast. It's usually the first thing I do in the morning. I like to do something active, whether that be take a walk, go for a run, play ball, go lift weights, do something. So when I wake up in the morning for breakfast, this is what I eat. I eat 2 bananas. That's it. That's the 2 things. That's what I eat in the morning. There's some sugar in the bananas. There's carbs in the bananas. Because people ask how you gonna get carbs if you're not eating. Because I talked about going on a paleo diet. I don't really mess with a lot of gluten. So there's also not any grains, no rice, no peanuts. And I'm gonna get the peanut. I'm gonna talk about peanuts in a second. No rice, no peanuts, no lentils. A lot of beans we don't eat. No spaghetti, no pasta. So a lot of carbs I don't eat that people think of when they think of carbs, but people don't understand that there are carbs in fruit and there are carbs in vegetables. There are carbs in broccoli. There are carbs in all different types of vegetables. I don't know the exact ones. I don't want to name them and get them wrong, but I know that 2 fruits that had the most carbs that I found in my research were apples and bananas, and also pears. All 3 of those have a ton of carbs in them. Bananas are very starchy, so actually when you look up paleo diet, you'll see a lot of people say you might want to go easy on potatoes and bananas, even though they both fall into the paleo category, because they're both very starchy, which means if you eat them and you're not burning a lot of calories, i.e. if you are not a serious athlete working out for hours a day, in other words, not what I do, opposite of what I do, you might want to stay away from so many potatoes and bananas. But I work out for hours every day, so I eat a ton of potatoes and a ton of bananas. I'm at the grocery store buying a new stalk of bananas like every 2 days, and it's potatoes in almost every meal I eat with the meals I get delivered. Again, the link down there tells you about the meals that I get. Now I want to talk about a few snack stuffs that I eat. One here, I just finished this box. These are greens that I get from Whole Foods. You see, this one is called Zen. There are different ones. If you go to Whole Foods or any grocery store wherever you live, you go to that section where they got the produce and the like the fruits and vegetables. You go to that section where they got the greens. You know, I had the stuff that you could actually grab and put in the bag yourself and then weigh it and pay by weight. But these come in the actual box. They come packaged and it's just filled with greens. This is about 5 ounces, 6 ounces in each box. These boxes are about $4 a piece, and I eat 1 whole box every single day. 1 whole box of these every single day is $4 a piece. That's times 7. It's $28 a week. 3, 6, 9, $120 a month. You spend eating these greens. One thing that for me personally, when I started to change my diet, the first issue that I was concerned with was how much is it going to cost me. So I'm gonna give you the cost of what all this stuff is. The greens, like I said, I like to eat a whole box of these every single day because I'm not the type of person to go and make vegetables. If I was to grocery shop for myself and just get my own food and make my own food, I probably wouldn't eat hardly any vegetables. Only vegetable I really would make that I really like that would be like corn, or if you want to call potatoes a vegetable. I think potatoes are a vegetable, yeah, so potatoes, but I'm talking about green stuff. I wouldn't even look for no greens. I wouldn't even look at the greens aisle when I'm in the supermarket if I was making the food myself and grocery shopping myself. So I started eating these greens, as I read up on it. A lot of the resources that I read up on, people that I know talk about, you need greens in your diet. People drink the shakes with the greens in them. That's not my thing. I tried that and I hated that shit. So I don't do that. So I buy these greens straight, and when I'm eating my meals, maybe lunch or dinner or a snack, I'll like take a bite of the food that the tasty food, and then I'll get like a handful of these and just eat them. I mean, it ain't really. I don't dress it up. I don't put no kind of dressing on it. I don't put it in the salad. I don't mix it in with my food. I just eat some of these, eat some of that, or sometimes I'll just sit and eat this stuff with like raisins or water or something like that. It don't taste bad. It ain't really no good taste. I mean, it's just greens. I mean, y'all know what greens taste like. And I need greens in my body. If you're an athlete, especially those athletes out there, which I would guess is most of y'all since you're watching this video, you need fruits and you need vegetables. You need to put life into your body. One of the main reasons I started changing my diet because I was watching a rapper, dude named Styles P from the Locks. He opened a juice bar, and they asked him why he opened a juice bar. And he said, you know, because we eat all this stuff. We eat animals. And the animals are dead. By the time you eat the animal's dead. So instead of putting death into your body, well, we still eat meat. I still eat meat. So I'm putting dead animals into my body, but I also want to put life into my body. Greens, fruits, those are alive. That's why they don't last so long. So when you buy these from Whole Foods, I gotta buy these every 2 days again. I'm in the grocery store buying more of these because they only last for like, when you buy it and bring it home, you got pretty much 48 hours to eat this before they start going bad because they're alive. They'll die if you let them sit out for too long. So you got to eat them within basically 48 hours. So every 2 days, I probably buy 2 boxes. Eat one the first day, eat one the next day, and on that second day, when I'm down to that 1 box, I'm in the store buying 2 more. So that's what I get as far as the greens go. Of course, there are greens in the meals that I get. They always have vegetables in every meal. Another thing about breakfast, I eat my bananas with honey. This honey right here is Market Pantry brand, which is from Target, which is it's Target everywhere in America, at least I know. The thing about this honey is I don't even really like this honey like this. I tried this. The reason I wanted to get this one because it's like a squeeze bottle. When you open it, you can just squeeze the honey out instead of you needing like a spoon or a knife to get the honey out of the jar, like the natural honey jar. This is 100% natural honey. At least that's what it says on the label. But I don't really like the taste of this one. It tastes just a little bit too manufactured. I like the more pure tasting honey, which costs a little bit more. And it comes in a glass jar, which you can get from any supermarket, or if you got a Fresh Market or Whole Foods in your area, and I know most of you do, or any farmer's market. Yeah, farmer's market store or the outdoor farmer's markets they have, you know, on the weekends and stuff, wherever y'all live. You can get them there also. The jars, these containers of honey, this much honey right here, this is 24 ounces, which is 1 pound, 8 ounces, 680 grams. These will run you about $10 a piece. Anywhere from $8 to $10 a piece for the pure 100% honey, not that manufactured extra shit with all the extra stuff in it. It should just be 100% honey. If you look at the ingredients, if there's anything other than honey in it, then it's not 100%. So this honey is something that you can have on a paleo diet. And you messing with honey because it's something that was around, you know, not generations, but what's the word? Forget the word I'm trying to use. But anyway, honey is a natural sweetener. It's not artificial like the sugars that get put in the candy or get put in the sodas and things like that. So I just put some honey on my bananas when I'm eating them in the morning. It's the only time I use the honey. So every morning I pull the honey out, get my 2 bananas, eat the bananas with the honey, and that's my breakfast. I'm good for the day, at least for the morning, until I eat some more. The honey, like I said, about $8 a pop if you get these containers. Me, I tried the squeeze jar only because I was tired of using a spoon and creating more dishes for myself to wash every time I had to use a spoon to get some honey out the jar. This was more convenient, but I don't like the taste, so once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go back to the other jar of honey and I'm gonna just have to wash the spoon. I'm gonna just have to bite the bullet on the spoon. Another thing I started taking is these emergency packs. These have been around forever. I know a lot of y'all heard of this one. This is strawberry kiwi. I tried different flavors. Emergency has a whole bunch of nutrients, vitamins, antioxidants, and electrolytes. 100 milligrams of vitamin C, as you can see on it if you read the back of the package, which if you go to any store that sells these, I get these from Target. They're about $8 for 30 packs. I take one a day, so that's a month's supply every time you buy one. Bunch of stuff in here. You read the back of the label. I ain't gonna sit here and read the shit to you, but as I just told you, what this has in it, why I take it: nutrients, vitamins, antioxidants, and electrolytes. Vitamin C, a lot of stuff that I don't get in my diet. I can't speak for any of your diets, but I don't get that stuff in my diet, so I started taking this. It was also on the suggestion of a friend. People I know who know a lot about nutrition and the body. I ask them questions about stuff. They tell me things. Then I go research it, look it up, see it, if it applies to me, and then I go get it. If it applies, then I try it. If I like it, I keep it. If I don't, I get rid of it. It's the same thing you need to do. Don't take all this information I'm giving you at face value. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not an expert on food. Take the information I'm giving you, go research it, find if it works for you, and then you use it. If it's good for you, you keep it. If it's not good, you throw it out. That's an important thing I need to put out there. Main snack food I eat, raisins. Sun-made raisins here. Sometimes I get the Publix brand. Publix is a supermarket in the South, for those of you who don't know, in the United States. I like these better, even though they cost a little bit more per package than the ones at Publix, because the ones at Publix be kind of sticky. When I'm reaching my hand in there and getting the raisins out, it be all sticky. I don't know why they're sticky like that, but they are. These are not so sticky. I can just sit and eat raisins while I'm on the computer, while I'm reading a book, whatever. You can have these as a snack. Raisins are also high in carbs. 31 grams of carb per serving. That's 10% of your daily value based on the 2,000 calorie diet, which is actually less than most athletes are going to need, grown athletes are going to need. But anyway, raisins another fruit that is high in carbs. So I like eating raisins. It's my main snack food, since I don't mess with like chips or none of that stuff, or candy or anything like that. Raisins is my main snack food. Another thing I want to talk about here, overall, like I said, costs. I think that's the number one thing it keeps most people from changing around their diets, is the cost, because this stuff does cost money. I was watching somebody give a TED talk, a TED talk. For those of you who don't know, that's like a conference of like, I don't even know what it's like, an innovative conference where they have a bunch of people who are experts on certain topics come up and talk about them and share their stories, and people come to see it. If you look online at TED Talks, just Google that, you'll see a bunch of talks. It's about a bunch of different stuff. They had guys who pickpocket, they got guys who talk about relationships, women who talk about, the one I was watching here about the greens was about a woman. She was talking about how she had a certain disease. She changed up her diet. She was eating 2 of these a day. I'm only eating 1 a day. She was eating 2 of those a day. She started putting all this green in her diet, and the disease went away, and now she's 100% healthy. It was a great story, and that was actually the thing that got me to start buying the boxes every single day after I researched the information. Like I said, this is $4 for each box of these. Honey is $8. The raisins is $4. That container I showed you, the emergencies, $8 here. Does this stuff start to add up? Hell yeah, it starts to add up. But guess what? You only got one body. I mean, I was at a smoothie place last week. I was at a smoothie place last weekend with a friend of mine, and the dude working there was telling me about something he gets from Whole Foods. I was like, where do you get whatever it is he was talking about? So he was telling me that certain brand. I wrote it down. I'm gonna go look at it. So I go to Whole Foods today, as you can see, with my empty box. And I was like, whatever he says, he said it's like X amount of dollars per container, whatever the thing he was talking about. I said, damn, it's kind of expensive. Kind of half talking to myself, half talking to him. But he was like, man, look, it's your body. You only got 1 of those. We stand in line at sneaker stores and pay $100, $200 for a pair of sneakers. We pay money to go to the movies. We spend money on all these computers and technologies and our cell phones and all this stuff that we spend on that ain't gonna be around 50 years from now. All this stuff is gonna be replaced. You're gonna get a new pair of sneakers, a new computer, a new cell phone. You only get one body. Ain't no replacement for it. You can't buy a new one. So, as the woman said in the video that I referenced about the greens, she said you can either pay now, coming out your pocket for the food that's gonna help your body in the long run, because you're gonna have it for the next 50 years and you can't replace it. You can't buy new parts for it. It's not like a car. You can either pay now for it, or you can pay later, which is going to be in pain and suffering when you're 60 years old. I'm sure everybody here knows somebody who's an elderly person who's in pain, physical pain, every day, because for whatever reason, probably because they didn't take care of their bodies when they were young, and now, after all these years, it's finally catching up to them. You can pay in pain, you can pay in suffering, you can pay in the time, the agony of having to live like that. You could pay in the agony of having to have other people take care of you all day. You could pay in your hospital bills because you got to go to the doctor every week because your body is all fucked up. So pay now or pay later. Once you said that, that really struck something with me. It told me, all right, I gotta stop being cheap about it. I gotta spend the money. If I'm gonna spend the money on anything, I gotta spend it on my body, especially us. And this was just a woman. I don't even know what she did for a living. She wasn't an athlete. She was just a quote unquote regular person, but her body was all fucked up. Now us, we're athletes, which means if you're gonna become a professional at your sport, whether it be basketball or anything else in athletics, your body is your business. So not only is it for your personal life, because you only get this one body to live with, but if you want to make a living from any way, shape, or form in sports, your body has to be in optimal condition. If you're not taking care of it by at least investing the money in stuff that's going to help your body in the long run, I mean, what are you doing? What are you spending your money on? You're going to buy a new phone. You're going to get the new cell phone. You're going to get yourself a new computer. You're going to get that t-shirt you saw at the store. You're going to buy a dress, a new pair of shoes for your girl. All this stuff that we spend money on, but we can't spend money on our bodies. And I ain't trying to preach to y'all motherfuckers. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking, what went through my mind when I made these changes, so y'all understand where I'm coming from and why. So hopefully this video enlightens some of y'all, shed some new light and some new information. Again, check the link down there for the diet and nutrition page on my website, which is called dreallday.com, for those who don't know. Any questions you got, of course, you can leave them in the comment. I'm sure there will be plenty. Any comments, I'm sure there'll be plenty of those too. Leave them down there in the comments. I think I covered it all for now, but if I didn't, I'll make another video. That's that. Work on your game. Dre all day.
It's Melvin Dahlberry Jr. Work on your game.